Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Shudo's English Academy. I have discussed in my last classes many chapters from grammar. Today I will discuss one interesting poem, Because I Could Not Stop for Death, that is by Emily Dickinson. This is very interesting and important too. To get daily updates about English language and literature, like, share and subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon to get daily updates whenever I post a video. So without wasting any time, let's start. First I will read the poem for you all, then I will explain the entire poem. Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves and immortality. Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves and immortality. We slowly drove. He knew no haste, and I had put away my labor and my leisure too for his civility. We passed the school where children strove at recess in the ring. We passed the fields of gazing grain. We passed the setting sun. Or rather, he passed us. The dews drew, quivering and chill, for only gossamer, my gown, my tippet, only tulle. We paused before a house that seemed the swelling of the ground. The roof was scarcely visible, the cornice in the ground. Since then, the centuries and yet feels shorter than the day. I first surmised the horse's head were toward eternity. Now we will explain the poem properly and we will discuss each point about the poem. Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. Here, Emily Dickinson is personifying death. Death is denoted as a kind gentleman who is waiting for the poetess to come. We slowly drove. So here we can see that death is very kind. We slowly drove. Slowly means the poetess is referring to death, that he is very kind, he is a gentleman and he is doing all the things to make the poetess comfortable. And I had put away my labor and my leisure too for his civility. So the poetess willingly wants to join death in this beautiful journey towards immortality. The poetess wants to accept death with all her comfort. She has no problem to welcome death. This usually never happens. We people become scared whenever death knocks at our door. But totally contrary to our thought, here we have seen the poetess is getting comfortable with the death and she is telling my labor and my leisure too for his civility, because here according to the poetess, death is such a person who has a great manner. Next we pass the school where children strove. Here poetess is referring each and every situation and the surrounding. The poetess and the death is passing the school where children were playing at the recess. When tiffin period is there, the children were playing in their playground. Then they have passed the fields of grazing grain. We pass the setting sun. So each time, like grazing grain means the youth time, and setting sun, here the poetess is referring to the old age, and gazing grain means the youth time. So here the poetess is telling we passed each phase of her life like the grazing grain and the setting sun. Now I am accepting death with all my happiness. I am not at all unhappy because we have passed each time of our life happily. Now I want to accept death with all the happiness and comfort. Next, we will discuss the later stanzas, that is, or rather, he passed us. The dews drew quivering and chill. The poetess, that is Emily Dickinson, is feeling cold. That is why she is using this line. The dews drew quivering and chill. My tippet only tulle. Like she is explaining each and everything so properly so that the reader can understand her condition and her journey with the man who is denoting here death. And another thing is gossamer, means the things are extremely light. My gown, my tippet. Tippet is one type of scarf which women used to wear. Now we will discuss three important meanings from the poem: gossamer, tippet and tulle. Gossamer means this is actually denoting extremely light. Tippet means women used to wear fur skirt. Next we will discuss about tulle. Tulle. The meaning of tulle is very soft nylon material which is used to make veils or dresses. Next we will discuss the paragraph. The roof was scarcely visible, the cornice in the ground. Here the poetess is denoting the place, the graveyard, where she will go after death. Since then, the centuries and yet feel shorter than the day. I first surmised the horses' heads were toward eternity. Once again, I am explaining the paragraph. Here the poetess is very happy because she is accepting death, and she is telling, here in this area I cannot understand the day, the night, the year after years. Time is passing and she could not understand that time is flowing so quickly. That is why she is telling, feel shorter than the day. Since then, centuries, like years after years, 100 years, it is passing, time is passing, but it feels like it's shorter than the day. I first surmised the horse's head were toward eternity. This is the area where the poetess, that is Emily Dickinson, is getting eternity. Here she can live year after year. There is no ending. She can enjoy the life here. She is happy to get the immortality, the life after death. She is accepting the life after death. She has no grudge. She has no hard feelings for the death. Here, Emily Dickinson is personifying death as a gentleman who is very kind, who is not at all harsh. Usually, we see death is denoted as someone who is very harsh, who is not at all kind, but opposite to all others. We find here the poetess is really happy to accept death with all happiness. She has no problem. She is denoting death as a wonderful person. Since we already discussed about the poem properly, now I will help you to understand the summary of the poem more nicely in easiest language so that you can write your own notes if necessary. The speaker in the poem is too busy to approach death. Therefore, death comes in the form of a gentleman to pick her up on a chariot. The carriage included no other, and the speaker travelled with death alone. The civility of death is praised as he drives the chariot with a relaxed and steady face which provides ease to the poet. Here we can understand totally opposite, as I already told, totally opposite to the other people who already denoted death as harsh, as cruel. The poet is easily accepting death, and she in her busy schedule wants to approach death, and she is telling that the civility of death is praised as he is driving the chariot very nicely and in a relaxed way. Next we have the chariot crosses a town where children are seen playing, and there are fields with full of grain. They witness the serenity of the setting sun. But as the sun sets, the speaker feels the chill of the night and believes that she is not properly dressed for the occasion. Death with death. So here we can understand she is moving with death, and death is personified as a gentleman. So she could feel that when she is moving along with death, who is a gentleman, she is not properly dressed for the occasion, because she is going with death a date, and that date is really precious for the poetess, but she couldn't understand she is not properly dressed. She could have owned something proper. They halt before a house that appears to be a small mound emerging from the ground, the grave of the speaker. She could not clearly see the roof of the house, and the cornice were nothing but the mound of earth. The speaker realizes that it's been centuries since he that, and it feels to her like yesterday that she was eternally taken by death. She is enjoying the days after death, and she is telling that she could not understand that centuries have passed, and she is telling it feels just like yesterday, and she is enjoying the days after death. This is a unique poem by Emily Dickinson, because we can understand here she is personifying death. That is why we can understand, because I could not stop for death. Here death D is in capital letter because death is personified, and she is telling to the readers that she is going for a date with the death. That is really astonishing for all the readers, and all cannot understand that how wonderfully she can accept death, how that can be possible, like someone can be so happy to accept death, and how someone can be so wonderful that she is telling death as a gentleman, as a kind gentleman. There lies the uniqueness of because I could not stop for death. But still, if you have any doubt or you cannot understand any portion, you can comment me. I will give reply to all your queries. If you like the video, you can like, share, comment and subscribe my channel, and hit the bell icon to get daily updates about the videos which I am posting. Thank you all. Have a nice day. Bye bye.